flag.
Yeah.
And there
What
were
is their
many red
narrative?
flags along the way.
Sorry, just to clarify, what is the behaviorist narrative about autism?
That autism is a DSM-5 clinical diagnosis. It's a mental illness, like
That you're born with?
schizophrenia, that you're born with or that you develop. It's a developmental illness, like paranoia is a DSM-5 diagnosis. Now, autism is a DSM-5 diagnosis. It's the manual for diagnosing mental disorders.
Yeah.
And this happened, it's been kind of ongoing, and the behaviorists have always believed that, like, it's just something psychological. Now, you know, at this point, I realize autism is definitely not just behavioral, and it's definitely not just psychological, because my child is showing real signs of medical issues, like screaming pain, inability to control her arms. She like flaps her arms, biting herself, self-injury. Like she actually cannot speak. And I'm like, why can't she speak?
Yeah.
Like it's not like no amount of speech therapy is helping. At this point, I have her in speech therapy for multiple years. Like, you know, she just actually cannot speak.
Yeah.
She like lost eye contact for a while. Stomach bowel issues. And I'm like, okay, clearly this is not just paranoia and anxiety. Like there's something physical going on here.
And that's what you mean when you say biomedical. You mean something physical that caused this.
Well, it's interesting. That's where your mind goes, right? Because if it is biomedical, then maybe you can trace it to something that could have onset it or some things that exacerbate it. That's where things get really dangerous. This is where people get canceled because big pharma, this is the biggest secret big pharma has been trying to keep from us, is that perhaps there is something going on with either vaccines or with medications or in our environment or untreated illnesses that result in an autism diagnosis. So would that like show up with that symptomatology? And it's very, very dangerous. This is where you go from being a mom on a quest to a mom who is, quote, gone crazy. Right? Because if you start picking at the biomedical diagnosis or the biomedical issues, you ask that question. The C word, cause. Could something have caused this? And every doctor who is trained by the mainstream medical industry will say, we don't know what causes this, which is true. The scientific community has not done the proper inquiry to figure out what causes autism. And you know, then once you go there, you find RFK and you find all those other mamas who have been silenced over the years and all of those doctors who have been silenced over the years and all of those papers who have been redacted, and all of those scientists that are too afraid to do that inquiry or are producing research around that inquiry. You find all of them and then you realize, holy smokes, this is the biggest cover up. This is in my lifetime, probably. This is a huge cover up. And somehow I'm in the middle of it all, you know, and I found myself married to the guy who started the company that censors all these people.
Right.
It's a big problem for me.
Yeah.
It's a big problem. It's a big problem for anyone to find themselves in.